Hi, today we're going to cover the presser foot on this C610 Yamato Industrial Overlock Serger, and we're just going to go through some of the mechanics of the presser foot along with the pedal and the back of the machine, the lever there. But first we want to talk about the manuals that you really should have with owning a machine like this. If you don't have the manuals, contact Yamato sewing.com, and they have a product tab, but the list of machines are the newer ones, so you're just going to have to go straight to contacts and email them regarding your particular model. But you should have two. You should have an adjusting and operating, which is the more important document to have. But there's also, for this particular one and other models, you have something that's called illustrated part list. So this is kind of, if you ever need parts and you have to go to the secondary market, this is what you need. And also if you're handy at repairing some of the, and we'll go through some of the things that I've done, but if you need to replace gaskets or some of the parts that wear out a little bit more regularly, stitch plate, the knives, those sort of things, this is really handy to have. So get yourself those two documents. But we'll start with the presser foot adjustments, and I'm going to just turn to the adjusting manual here. Just go here and just turn to the tab that has, this is the presser foot. There's a presser foot adjustments to make, and the adjustment for the foot lever. So let's start with talking about this right here. So this puts pressure downward on the foot. So you need to loosen this. If you had heavy weighted material, fleece is a commonly used product these days. So if you have double ply of fleece, you probably don't have to change it all that much. But if you're starting to go into fleece and then maybe faux fur on top of that, like we have here, where you have layer of fleece, 2 layers of faux fur, you're going to need to maybe adjust this just as a little bit up so that you can feed it in there. So you would turn it counterclockwise to loosen the tension, but for the most part it's down, and clockwise to tighten its tension. But for the most part it's pretty close to the bottom all the time. Otherwise, the dog, the teeth will not grip the fabric appropriately. So let's get this lever, lift this up, and this will release. Now, if the needle's down, it's not going to come over. So you're going to have to go turning clockwise as the natural motion of the machine up. You see the needle coming. Now, just grab it and just move it over. And let's start though with what they're telling us to do in terms of the foot lever in the back. So here's the foot. You want to have the chain, it could be a little bit looser than that, but for the most part, when you depress it, you want the action to start right away. Let me just put this back here. And so as soon as you press it, you want that start to move up. Right? You don't want there to be a little lag, or you don't want it to have it fully depressed straight away. That's kind of inconvenient on your foot. So let's move this back, lift the lever up, needle up, slide that over. So that's the chain. I use S-hooks on either end, and then coming around back here. What they're telling you to do with this first half of this diagram on this lever back here is they're basically telling you they want 3 millimeters from where it starts to engage. And this is, you can't see it, but there's a little space between that lower thread and in this plate. So they're looking for 3 millimeters. Not that all important. There is a screw at the bottom, making sure, and for all the sergers I've seen, it's usually that screw lets you go full length to depress that presser foot up. Okay, so the bottom screw that's here Here they have it up, but most of the times when I see them, they're always down, so you get that full depth on the movement of the dog foot. I'm not sure why you'd want it higher than that, not having full range on that dog foot, but that's it. The next thing they're going to talk about is this screw, which is here on the foot assembly, and it's this screw. And I have it in the low position because, again, you saw how much faux fur and the thickness. This allows for full thickness when it's moved in here. It allows for complete movement upward. So it's in, get you room to get that fabric started in here. If you're dealing with cottons, this screw can come up and just limit the range that it kind of comes up. So they're essentially trying to not create strain on the presser foot. That's what they're trying to do. If there's stress on the presser foot, things tend to break. So you don't want the tension to be any more than it has to be. And you don't want the range of motion to be any more than it has to be either. So that's kind of the principles of that. And when you adjust that screw upward, again, it'll stop it. Maybe you'll just get a little bit of movement. This, you kind of get that full range. See that? So it would be just a little bit. So that's how the principles of what they're trying to achieve here with this first press foot. Now, another thing that I do is I do oil these little points here. Now, the machine itself is self-oiling. There's an oil pump, and then it uses splash technology as well, and gets the oil lubricated halfway. Then there's a pump that pumps the oil to this top button, and that button you should always see when it's operating and you're running, you should see it kind of bubble up underneath that bubble, that clear viewing glass. If not, you want to follow another video that I have to rectify that, because you don't want to be operating if you don't have lubrication in the upper half of this serger. So with that being said, I think that kind of concludes. There we go, drop that down. That concludes that little section of this manual that deals with the adjustment of the presser foot lever and the pressure on the presser foot, as you can see. So if you like the video, just denote it. Follow, subscribe, because I'm going to do a number of different videos on the Yamato machine. And this Z610 is kind of a workhorse like the DC series, the DCZ series that are out there by the thousands. These were manufactured in probably the late 70s, early 80s, mid 80s. Hard to find a date from Yamato. They didn't have serial numbers on these they basically identified every part with a serial, not with a serial, but with a part number. But yet they didn't do serial numbers on these machines. So it's hard to tell when yours was manufactured to a year. But the principle behind these machines was that they were designed for factory use, and they're built for durability. They're known for their robust construction. Metal parts, there's only a few plastic parts, one being the viewing chamber here, also some tubing, but for the most part, I've seen the inside in some of my videos. You can see the inside, and you get this professional grade performance, high quality stitching, very fast, a lot faster than your home sergers, much faster. So if you're if you need precision, if you need speed, then these are the machines to go. People use them for making sails, curtains. So a lot of applications, but it's high speed, it's quality. So I can't say enough good things about how cost effective it is when you purchase these refurbished machines. They can give you exceptional value for their capabilities. A fraction of the price of an industrial serger. And one downside is availability of parts and manuals. That's the downside. But I've gotten parts online. The knives are easy to get. Those are easy. But if you go to some of the parts, if you happen to have an internal part that needs to be replaced, that could be a little difficult. And of course, the resale values is well maintained old Yamato machine. They retain their values and are sought after by enthusiasts and professionals, making them a really decent investment. So if you're running a small business or you just need something with high speed, this is a fantastic choice. Any line of these, not just the Z610, but the DCZs, which, gosh, there's, I don't know, 10 or 15 models there. And then a few models before that time period and a couple models after that time period. But I found this the way. We have two of them. They never have given us really a big problem. My wife uses them quite consistently, and we took them in for service, but we really don't need to take them into service because I've learned to change the knives, do some minor timing on the loopers and the threading, cutting that down. So once you got it down, the oiling, keeping up with the oil, changing the oil. You may have bought it and never changed the oil. I'm going to do a video on how to change the oil, how to clean the filters, how to blow out the tubes that supply the oil upward, and mess with the oil flow regulator if need be. So stay tuned. We're gonna have you, if you have one of these, maybe you had one and you just put it aside because you didn't know what to do with it, and you can resurrect this thing and get this thing going and save yourself some grief with some of the newer stuff that you're using that tends to break down. But anyway, so take care. Wait for my next video, and see you there. Bye.